We all know which type our favorite Pokemon are, and even our least favorite. But what would happen if I randomize all their types, moves, and abilities, and then add a hardcore Nuzlocke on top? And if you don't know what a hardcore Nuzlocke is, just pause the video right here for all the rules. And our adventure starts with our randomized starters. Petalil, Manaphy, and Fraction. Ooh. That's a selection. As much as I love the Haxorus line, I can't say no to a mythical with base 600 stats, right? And Manaphy's kinda sick. So, we had to pick this one, and before we name it, as in the rules of the Nuzlocke, I gotta see the typing we're working with. Ground Fairy. Ooh. Ooh. That's a cool typing. Yeah, Misty Explosion. Fairy type Explosion. That's an instant death run. If you want to, and a Nuzlocke, that's instantly sending this one to the box to never be used. So that's a move I can't touch. Luckily, some reason they have Terra Blast as a learnable move, so that's something. And well, I called the Manaphy Terraphy, kinda a play on the ground fairy type, I guess. Then we faced Nemona, and well, she had a giant big old along my molar, and yeah, knocked out my Terraphy. Well, luckily I don't have a Pokeball, so the Nuzlocke hasn't started yet. As in Nuzlocke rules, they don't start doing a Pokeball. Hopefully I can get something good. And while normally in Nuzlocke, you kinda just go get your first random encounter each area, there is no random encounters here, everything is overworld in Pokemon Scarlet, so we're gonna spin a d20 dice, and whatever number we get is the encounter number we see for the area. Number 10. Alright, that's the one we're gonna pick. Well, so 10's the first one, so the 10th Pokemon we see is what we get, and well, it's a Sobble. Starter Pokemon, not that bad, could be great. Throw a Pokeball straight out, we got ourselves our first encounter. A Steel Flying type Sobble. But it doesn't have any Steel or Flying types moves, so that kinda sucks. But we got Sobium, which is like kinda a play on metal, you know. Then we fed this giant dinosaur lizard a sandwich, watched it turn into a super lizard, and absolutely save our butt from a Houndoom, before losing all its superpowers. Then it was time to face Arvin, and he led with a Spinneract, which absolutely got smoked by Terraphy. Then he had a Croagunk that caused me a bit of issues, and well, poor Sobium fainted, which means he is gone for the run. But we defeated the Croagunk and Arvin in the end. Then we rolled the dice for South Rover's Area 1, getting 1. Well, and it was an Ariados. But first Pokeball didn't catch, and well, this thing has Endeavor, so that was fun. I threw another Pokeball, just hopefully get lucky, and then decided to use Phantom Force. And well, I didn't really want the run to end now, so I forfeited my encounter, which kinda sucks, but we move on to face Nemona once again, and this is when I realized that the randomizer decided to, one, crank the levels up by 50%, so my level cap is like 50% higher than normal, and gives every trainer an extra Pokemon, which makes this challenge even more harder than it already was. And well, the Sewaddle was an easy takedown. She has a Goodra! So I Dragon Danced up to kind of get some more boost, take a Moonblast to the face, then hit it with a False Surrender, not even doing half health, and then Goodra brings me down to 2 HP, and luckily I take it out, and then, with only a little HP left, she throws out a shiny Dino that she terrestrializes to an Ice type, and well, my Psychic doesn't take it out, but it decides to use Supersonic. So now we're playing a game of luck. And then the Dino decides to Stellar Rock me with a priority move, but that wasn't super effective, well, not effective at all. And we broke through confusion, land the final Psychic, and bait Nemona again. This is getting way too rough. I need some Pokemon, please. But the solo Manaphy battles weren't over, as I had to beat up this Team Star symbol for Totodile, which, to be honest, one Psychic did the job. And then it had 9 Frits, which I also one-shotted, so awesome. Then the Mona came down, gave us a Terror Orb, and well, we had to fight Okie Dokie. So I terrestrialized my Manaphy into a ground type, hit the Okie Dokie with a Psychic, 2 times in a row to take it out, Then he threw out a Mandibuzz, which was a bit of a tanky Pokemon, so after a few hits, we took it down, making our way through some Star Grunts. Then we'll just quickly go through getting introduced at school, meeting the professor, and getting the ability to finally ride our dinosaur friend. Now I returned back to the Inlet Grotto, rolled my dice, and well, the first encounter we got in this area was a Alolan Electrode. And well, after 7 Pokeballs, we got him. Yay. It's a Dragon Ground type Electrode. And I called it Dragode. Why not? Basic name. And it was time for another roll for a new encounter. And well, our 12th encounter was a Glaceon, who decided to use Explosion, so yay. That's cool. Yeah, we rolled for another encounter, and well, our 8th spot was a Riolu, who we managed to catch. Yes, let's go. It was a Steel Dark type, which is actually a pretty awesome typing. Then it was time to head over to do our gym test and roll an olive around the field into a goal. Then face the Bug-type gym leader, Katie, who won't be a Bug-type gym leader at the moment, and she leads with a Flittle, and I decide to just terrestrialize my Dragode into a Dragon type, absolutely destroy the Flittle. Then she brings out a Haunter that I Terra Blast as well, and then it Grave Rushes me. And there goes Dragode. Terrafee comes back out, Disarming Voice takes out the Haunter. Then she brings out an level 21 Ambipom, absolutely starts damaging my Manaphy again, bringing me down to 8 HP, but we took the Ambipom out. Then she brings out a little Igglybuff, and I was like, oh yeah, one Psychic should do this. Then she terrestrializes into Psychic type, so that's going to be resistant damage, but she decides to use Baneful Bunker, which is a move I've never heard in my life, but guess it's just a protect. And then I use False Surrender and knock out the Igglybuff to obtain my first gym badge of the run. And now it's time to get another encounter, because we keep losing them. 18, the 18th encounter in Area 4. Which ended up being a Sneasel. Beat a Ruin. Ooh. And it nearly one-shotted my Manaphy with a crit drum beating. So I switched over to Riolu, who I forgot the name. Threw a Great Ball, didn't catch it, and got hit with a Thrash. And decided to run. But I couldn't get away, and so poor little Riolu was knocked out. So I'm left again with just Manaphy as my party member. This is brutal. It was time to get our last encounter before we could take on the Stony Cliff Titan, and well, the number we got was 17. And well, the 17th spot was this little Minchino, but quickly we can down into yellow and caught with a Dusk Ball. Ended up being a Poison Psychic type, which is an interesting type combo, who I called Toxino. Then it was time to face our first Titan, the Stony Cliff Titan, and well, I learned pretty quickly that it's a Dark type, and was not affected by my Psychic. So, 2 Disarming Voices later, well, he's on the run. Goes has a munch on some glowing plants, and well, Arven shows up, and we have another battle. When I terrestrialized my Manaphy into a ground tear, hit it with a Terra Blast, and absolutely one-shot the Stony Cliff Titan. We quickly go in with Arven, grab ourselves a shiny glowing Herba Mystica. He makes us a nice ass sandwich. Our dinosaur friend wanted to eat the sandwich, I feed him the sandwich, and well, Arven wasn't really happy about that, but no, dinosaur's happy. Then it was time for another gym challenge as we go and hunt down a bunch of lost Sunflora around Artisan, and that was pretty easy. Then it was time to face our second gym leader, Brashius. Normally the grass gym leader, but he leads straight out with a legendary Thunderous, so that is not scary at all. I hit it with a Psychic, which drops it just above half health. So I do it again 2 more times, and the Terra Blast, and we knock out the Thunderous pretty easily. Then he brings out Jump Bluff, which resists my Psychic, so that's not fun. And then it hits me with a super effective Ice Type move, so we switch over to Toxino and decide to use Mystical Fire, which is super effective, but it does no damage at all. So we let Toxino fall and end up being a Manaphy carry once again. Terrestrialize Manaphy into a ground type, hit it with a Terra Blast, which was super effective and knocks it out. And I feel silly because now I lost Toxino. We Terra Blast the Trumbeak and one-shot it. And then he brings out a Basculesian, which he terrestrializes into a flying type, which kind of sucked because I was about to use Terra Blast, but he used Spiky Shield, which seems very ironic that we get 2 terrestrialized gym leader Pokemon use a protect style move for the first move. Even though I wouldn't have hit them at all or hit them for nothing. So I decided to use Psychic and hope for the best, and that doesn't even do half damage, but the Basilican decides to do Wish. But then quickly after that, I used Spiky Shield and, well, healed itself back up. But after a while, I realized this Basilican has no attacking moves. So after a very drawn out battle, we won our second badge. Thank you. And it's time for our next encounter. Hopefully we get something that stays alive. Number 15, so the 15th encounter, let's do it. Our 15th spot was a Hat Pikachu, who after 3 balls I caught, and ended up being a Dark Fighting type, which is pretty cool. And I called him Capichu. And well, with the help of Capichu, it's time to face our second Titan, the Sky Titan, Bombardier. And well, we led with Manaphy as always, hit it with a disarming voice that did resisted damage, so that was scary. Then I decided, let's hit it with Psychic, which did a massive chunk. And then with a second Psychic, the Sky Titan was on the run, decided to break a hole in the wall, eat some green shiny plant. Arvid showed up once again, and well, then he got all superpower with a green glow, and well, I learned pretty quickly this thing was weak to ground type, so I terrestrialized Manaphy once again, and one-shot Terror Blasted another Titan. Manaphy, a bit of a beast, a bit of a carry. We grabbed another shiny plant. Arvin made another sandwich, which I gave to our dinosaur friend again, making him sparkle in new powers. And then we found out that this whole adventure Arvin has us on is to help heal his little Mabostov. And this storyline, man, makes me sad every time. Then it's time for another encounter in the South Padean Sea, with 12 being our roll. We kind of swam around for a bit because, to be honest, things spawning out in the sea are a bit weird. And our encounter ended up being a seal, who I caught, and ended up being a Ghost Steel type, which is kind of sick. Then it was time for another encounter, which we rolled 14 for, and it ended up being this Magnezone, which is actually a sick Pokemon that decided to use Smog on my Manaphy, poisoning my Manaphy, so I decided, you know what, we'll switch over to Gong Gong, our seal, and it one-shots me with a Blazing Torque, which absolutely hurt. And then takes out half the health of Capichu, so I decided it was to run away to at least keep myself with 2 Pokemon. What is with this insanity? A Typeswap is no joke, man, and you better be smacking that like button and subscribing. Then it was time, I decided, you know what, let's go take down a Team Grunt member. We absolutely smoked the guy at the entrance. And then figured out I actually need 3 Pokemon to do this, so it's encounter number time in the Asado Desert. 5. With the encounter being a Braxton, and caught with a Great Ball, that ended up being another Dark Fighting type. So I have 2 Dark Fighting types and a Ground Fairy type. But hey, Dark Fighting Braxton, sounds like a bit of fun. Then we finally entered in to our first Team Star campsite and absolutely smoked all the little Pokemon that we had to do at the beginning. And then it was time to face Gaikomu, the leader of the Dark Crew. And well, he leads with a Rhyperior, which is absolutely terrifying, but one Psychic brings it down to basically 1 HP, and then it crit hits me with a Flower Trick, but it's gone now. Then he sent out a Gothitelle, so I switched over to my Stickfist, Braxton, terrorized it into a Dark type, and smacked it with a Terror Blast 2 times to knock it out. Then it was time to face the big old Riverroom Starmobile, and, well, a few Fire Pledges later, we took it out, defeating our first Team Star leader. Time to roll the dice once again for a new encounter in the East Padean Sea. And, well, my encounter ended up being not this Corviknight, but this Alolan Geodude. And, well, with a Quick Ball, we captured that really easily, and, well, he ended up being a Steel Grass type, which is quad weak to fire, so that kind of sucks. Geodude's not the greatest Pokemon in the world as this, but hey, look, Meta Dude is here, and I have a team of 4 Pokemon finally, so this is looking pretty good. I was starting to get one more encounter, so we rolled the dice once again for our first encounter, and well, I just turned around, and here it is, a Hitmontop, which I caught with a Quick Ball straight away, and it ended up being a Ice Ground type. Good old Mammoth vibes, and had Milk Trick, Commodore, Sheer Cold, and Court Change. Interesting. And I called him Hitmon Ice, because lazy naming. Oh, that's good. I could have got an Iron Hands, or or a Kyogre.
Man, there were some heaters here.
Then, just before I was about to start my third gym badge trial, the Veno wanted to come and have a battle. And well, I have a team of 5 now, so I think I'm in a good spot, finally. And she leads with a Tyranitar, which, cool. I smack her with a Psychic to do just under half health. And well, 2 more Psychics later, the Tyranitar was down. She brings out a Dreadnought. I smack it with some more Psychics. Just absolutely smoked it. Then she brought out Shinx, and well, Psychic wasn't very effective. And Terra Blast didn't affect it either because it looks like it's a ghost type, so I switched over to Stick Fist, smacked it with a Foul Play, knocking it straight out. Then she brought out a Totodile that she terrestrialized to a electric type, and well, Stick Fist did Stick Fist stuff and defeated that Totodile. Feels like the first battle in a while where I haven't actually lost a Pokemon. Then it was time for our third gym test, being a guest on Lono's stream, I guess? And this being a game of hide and seek with our principal, Clavel, so we found them pretty easy the first time. We decided to hide on a seat. Then we had the battle with Trainer, which we absolutely smoked, where we destroyed his Morgrim pretty quickly and destroyed his Snivy. And then the second person decided to just chuck out a Hydrapple, which was a bit scary. My Manaphy was still poisoned for the first battle, so I decided, why don't we switch over to Metadude, who copped the Fire Fang to the face, and he's no longer a Grass and Steel type, so that's kind of nice. And 2 Rock Slides later, the Hydrapple was gone. Then he threw out a Gorging Fire, like, what? And, well, 1 Snipe Shot later, Metadude was taken down with a crit. So I threw out Stick Fist, but Stick Fist kinda got beaten around the bush a bit, so we switched over to Capichu. Capichu came out, did some damage. Then it was time to face a Weezing, who used Raging Fury to absolutely obliterate Stick Fist, and now we're down 2 Pokemon leading into this gym. 2 seconds later, and we took out the Weezing. We fought Clive-Owl one more time and finished our gym quest, and well, my graveyard for this run is looking pretty full. And now it was time to finally face Lanola. She laid out with a Rapscar, I led with my Hitmon Ice, and decided why don't we just hit it with a straight old Origin Pulse that was super effective and did no damage. And decided to use Pain Split, which, to be honest, didn't really do much. 2 more Origin Pulses later and the Rapscar was taken down. Then she brought out a shiny Serena. And well, I went for the Origin Pulse and missed. And then she hit a Oko Fissure. No way I just got Oko'd.
I just got 1 hit KO'd moved. I can't, man. This Typeswap is just pain.
And well, that kind of stings, because Hitmon Ice was like one of my best Pokemon. Decided to go out with Terrafee once again. Said, why don't we hit it with a Psychic type move? Did nothing. Then it literally hits me with a Snipe Shot. I'm in a bit of a predicament here. I decided, let's Terrestrialize and see if it's weak to Ground type. And it's not. It's another Snipe Shot later. I decided to switch from Terrafee to Capichu, as Capichu has Water Absorb, which one was a great idea. Then I used Windbolt Storm. Did not much. And then get one-shotted by a Stomping Tantrum. And, well, Manaphy only got this Shining Serena to 1 HP, and that's the end of my run. That's it. Nuzloke over. All my Pokemon are dead. I've got nothing left. So, if you want to see me try and do another Typeswap, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below, and, well, can I complete a hardcore Typeswap on Pokemon Scarlet? At the moment, no.